Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Uh-oh. Get the microphone. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna. Hey, Johan, Hare Krishna. Let's get this microphone in here. Uh-oh. It's going to make some noises here. Stop. Oops. Go back this way. Camera. Oops. Come on. Come on. There we go. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Johan. I wasn't going to go on, just for the sake of going on, lying, I only wanted to go on if I had something. And I got a few little things, so I go online. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One of the regulative principles of devotional service, not the four regs of human life, but the regulative principles of transcendental life, one of them is to make friends with the Lord. Hearing, chanting, remembering, worshiping, offering prayers, carrying out specific orders, worshiping the lotus feet, using everything that one has in the service of the Lord, and simply making friends with the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I was chanting, and I was like, Krishna, I'm not going to make friends. I'm going to be friends with you. Hare Krishna. I don't have any qualifications. It's just, that's what I want, more than anything. I don't want other kinds of friends. I only want you as a friend. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. And then I was thinking about Moses in the Hebrew Testament, the Old Testament. Yeah, actually I'm reading it. I'm almost through Genesis. The powerful force of God working on people, It's kind of like when I was reading the Universal Form this morning, it's kind of like that aspect of God, that how he's controlling things within the cosmic. Yeah, Moses actually, I was thinking about, like I said, I need to read it more closely. I only know it from like movies and what people say. I haven't actually read it. So I'm going through and I'm reading the Old Testament. And but from what I understand so far is, he gave the first, that particular culture that God, Krishna, was trying to bring to a level where they could actually enter into a loving relationship with him by giving them rules and regulations and sacrifices and austerities, at least to recognize his authority, that there was a higher power, and to recognize the authority, and like that, So they found themselves captive in Egypt, this particular culture. They were enslaved in Egypt. So one of the things that Moses did was he liberated them from that bondage in Egypt. Let my people go, and he had the stick, and then it turned into a snake, and I have to read it more carefully. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Christiana. Hare Krishna. So he took them out of bondage. In other words, he liberated them. On that level, that was a very gross level of being like slaves to another people. But it corresponds, that's a gross level, but it corresponds to a higher level also of liberation. Because later on, this same person that God was working through, Moses, he gave them laws and rules. He gave them religious principles. The Ten Commandments, they're religious principles of religion. Thou shalt not have any God before me. No, we know the Ten Commandments, kind of, sort of. The religious principles. So what was going on there was actually a kind of varnashram dharma. There was economic development. The Lord was always intervening in different ways. That if you do this, then you'll have a lot of progeny, you'll have a big kingdom, and go over here and have this land, and be fruitful, multiply, and grow lots of fruits and vegetables, and like this. So there was economic development, sense gratification, marry, have lots of children, and be fruitful, and enjoy yourselves. Economic development, religious principles, religion. You got the the Ten Commandments, and ultimately liberation. So there's kind of a varnashram thing going on there: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So yes, he gave rules, but it was also connected to liberation. So that was very interesting. It's a different time, place, different circumstance, but it's the same playbook. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh Krishna. So I've been reading the qualities of Sri Krishna in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Summary study by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And we're on it's chapter Qualities of Sri Krishna, and what chapter is it? Let me see. It's chapter, I think, 22, or no, Qualities of Sri Krishna Further Explained, and that is, 22. So 34 qualities of Krishna have been described, and now he has a lot of qualities. Now we're going to read about the 35th quality, liberation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Well, I have so many blessings. I have Prabhupada's blessings, I have Gohari's blessings, I have the blessings of the devotees. I have so many blessings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. I have so many well-wishers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Let me become a well-wisher. Let me also become a well-wisher of others, and not just get angry at them or let me become their well-wisher. Even if I have to do it from a distance, that's all right. But at least let me have that I wish people well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, that's my prayer lately. Okay, so Krishna, his quality is liberal. Any person who is by his nature very mild is called liberal. And then what Rupa Goswami does is he gives examples of Krishna's qualities. So the example he gives here is a statement by Uddhava after the Shamantaka jewel plundering confirms that Krishna is so kind and favorable that a servitor, if a servitor is accused even of great offenses, Krishna does not take this into consideration. He simply considers the service that is rendered by his devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If a servitor is accused even of great offenses, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna simply considers the service that is rendered by his devotee. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That's liberal. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. He takes the good part. Oh, there's one little drop of something here, your service? Okay, very nice. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. 36. Shy. A person who sometimes exhibits humility and bashfulness is called shy. As described in the Lalita Madhava, Krishna's shyness was manifested when he lifted Govardhan Hill by the little finger of his left hand. All of the gopis were observing Krishna's beautiful achievement. And Krishna was also smiling at seeing the gopis. When Krishna's glance went over the breasts of the gopis, his hand began to shake. And upon seeing his hand shake, all of the cowherd men underneath the hill became a little disturbed. Then there was a tumultuous roaring sound, and they all began to pray for Krishna's safety. At this time, Lord Balaram was smiling, thinking that these cowherd men had been frightened by the shaking of Govardhan Hill. So Balaram's smiling because how silly these cowherd men think anything could happen just because Krishna's hand is shaking. That's why he's smiling. But seeing Balaram smile, Krishna thought Balaram had understood his mind in observing the breasts of the gopis, and he immediately became bashful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Protector of surrendered souls. Krishna is the protector of all surrendered souls. Some enemy of Krishna's was enlivened with the thought that he needn't fear Krishna, because if he simply surrendered unto him, Krishna would give him all protection. Krishna is sometimes compared with the moon, which does not hesitate to distribute its soothing rays even on the houses of the Chandalas and untouchables. An enemy of Krishna thought like that. Now, I don't have to be afraid of him, because if I surrender to him, he'll give me protection. So I'll just keep being an enemy, and if there's a problem, then I'll surrender and I'll be okay. Krishna. Oh, God. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna. Whew. There's nobody quite like Krishna. 38. Happy. It's another quality of Krishna. Any person who's always joyful and untouched by any distress is called happy. Always joyful and untouched by any distress. As far as Krishna's enjoyment is concerned, it is stated that the ornaments which decorated the bodies of Krishna and his queens were beyond the dreams of Kuvera, the treasure of the heavenly kingdom. The constant dancing before the doors of Krishna's palaces was not to be imagined even by the demigods in the heavenly kingdom. In the heavenly kingdom, Indra always sees the dancing of society girls, but even Indra could not imagine how beautiful were the dances being performed at the gates of Krishna's palaces. Gauri means white woman, and Lord Shiva's wife is called Gauri. The beautiful women residing within the palaces of Krishna were so much whiter than Gauri that they were compared to the moonshine, and they were constantly visible to Krishna. Therefore, no one can be enjoying more than Krishna. The conception of enjoyment is beautiful women, ornaments, and riches. And all of these things were fabulously present in the palaces of Krishna, defeating even the imagination of Kubera, Lord Indra, or Lord Shiva. So that's one kind of happiness. When somebody has all those opulent things, they get very happy. Ah, it's wonderful. You enjoy like anything. Hare Krishna. Not even a slight distress can touch Krishna. Once, some of the gopis went to the palace where the brahmanas were performing sacrifices and said, "Dear wives of the brahmanas, you must know that not even a slight smell of distress can touch Krishna. He knows no loss. He knows no defamation. He has no fear. He has no anxiety. And he does not know calamity. He is simply encircled by the dancers of Raj and is enjoying their company in the rasa dance." Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Next quality of Krishna, well-wisher of his devotees. It is said of Krishna's devotees that if they offer even a little water or a tulsi leaf in devotion to Lord Vishnu is so kind that he will sell himself to them. Well-wisher of his devotees. Krishna's favoritism towards his devotees was exhibited in his fight with Bhishma. When grandfather Bhishma was lying at the point of death on the bed of arrows, Krishna was present before him. And Bhishma was remembering how Krishna had been kind to him on the battlefield. Krishna had promised that in the battle of Kurukshetra he would not even touch a weapon to help either side. He would remain neutral. Although Krishna was Arjuna's charioteer, he had promised that he would not help Arjuna by using any weapons. But one day, Bhishma, in order to nullify Krishna's promise, exhibited his fighting spirit so magnificently against Arjuna that Krishna was obliged to get down from his chariot. Taking up a broken chariot wheel, he ran toward grandfather Bhishma as a lion runs toward an elephant to kill it. Grandfather Bhishma remembered this scene, and he later praised Krishna for his glorious favoritism toward his devotee. Arjuna, even at the risk of breaking his own promise. So that's the example of Krishna as a well-wisher of his devotee. Hare Krishna. Then we just read the other quality of that even if a devotee, that a servitor is accused of great offenses, Krishna does not take it into consideration. He simply considers the service that is rendered by his devotee. How dear Krishna's devotees are to him. He's willing to overlook even offenses. Not to be abused, of course, but if, like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's interesting, the pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita of Gopinath Padanayaka, where Lord Chaitanya is always favorable, also, he's Krishna, always favorable to his devotee, but he showed his favor in an indirect way with Gopinath Padanayaka. Gopinath Padanayaka was a government official, and he had a habit of gambling, and he was a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he had this, Yudhishthira also had that. A lot of the government people, they gamble and whatever. So he had that, and he misappropriated some government funds. He sold some horses, and he did something to pay his own gambling debt. And when King Prataparudra, who was also a great lover and surrendered soul to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sent his son to check on this, see what was going on with this Gopinath Patnaik was a tax collector, and he had misappropriated some funds. So the son of Maharaj Prataparudra was a little proud, a little puffed up. He was young, and he was the prince, and he was going to check on this miscreant, And when he approached Gopinath about this, Gopinath didn't show much respect to the boy. I know he laughed or something, like he didn't take him very seriously. And the prince became very angry. He became very angry. And he explained what happened to his father, that the man was a thief, and he needs to be punished. So Maharaj Prataparudra, he didn't know that Gopinath Patnaik was a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just hearing his son with the account of what happened. So we'll do what you see fit. So the prince, he arranged for the execution of Gopinath. And the way they did it, one way they used to do it was, it was a platform with a trap door. And underneath the platform were raised swords. So the person that was going to be executed would stand on the platform, and they would open the door and fall on the swords. Pretty awful. So he arranged for that for Gopinath Patnaik. When the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this, they were frantic because Gopinath was a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when we're hearing the quality of Krishna is, even if there's some offense or whatever, the Lord overlooks. But in this case, when they approached Lord Chaitanya, he said, don't bother me with this. I don't want to hear about this. This is, don't even come to me about this. I'm not, and if you come to me, you keep bothering me with this, I'll leave. Don't talk to me about this. I'm a sannyasi, and I have nothing to do with kings and governments and stealing money, and I have nothing to do with that. I'm a renunciate. Don't come to me with this. There's nothing I can do. So we're saying here, well, the Lord would protect his devotee, and he's, what's happening? And so it happened in an indirect way. Because Maharaj Prataparudra was a great devotee of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard that the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was upset like this because Gopinath was also a devotee, an ecstatic devotee of the Lord, then King Prataparudra immediately stopped this. I don't know how far it got with the execution thing. It was probably quite dramatic. He was probably standing on the platform at the last minute, the way these things work out. But he stopped the execution immediately. But that's also the Lord's mercy. But he worked in an indirect way. He worked through his devotees. And Maharaj is one of my favorite pastimes. Maharaj Prataparudra, he apologized to Gopinath Patnaik. He says, oh, the reason you had to do this, misappropriate these funds is your salary isn't big enough. I'm going to double your salary. So you won't be in this awkward position and have to misappropriate. I'll just double your salary. And here, let me give you some of, these royal garments with silk and jewels and things. Let me give you, with gold trim. Let me give you some nice clothes. And Hare Krishna. So, reading about the well-wisher of the devotees. The Lord is a well-wisher. So he did that indirectly. It was indirectly. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Controlled by love. Number 40. This is the quality of Krishna. It's controlled by love. Krishna becomes obliged to the loving spirit of the devotee and not exactly to the service rendered. Yeah, that's that verse in Gita. If one offers me with love and devotion a fruit, flower, leaf, and water, I'll accept. So he's obliged to the loving spirit, not exactly to the service rendered. So it's not exactly because of the leaf or the flower or the water. Not exactly. It's if one offers with love and devotion, the spirit of love and devotion. And there's another pastime of Lord Chaitanya that really shows this. I mean, it's an incredible pastime. I don't know the name of the devotee, I can't remember. But he was so absorbed in loving mood, ecstatic loving mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he was preparing an offering. And he was offering the Lord, he was throwing away bananas and offering the Lord the peels to eat. He was in so much ecstatic, he was here but he wasn't here. And he was throwing the bananas away and offering the Lord the peels. And because of that devotee's ecstatic mood, the Lord was eating the banana peels and was relishing them. It was wonderful. Because it's the mood of love, not so much the stuff. Although that can reflect a mood of love if everything is prepared very nicely. I mean, that certainly shows, some loving, wanting to please the senses of the Lord. I really like that banana peel one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna becomes obliged, controlled by love. Krishna becomes obliged to the loving spirit of the devotee and not actually to the service rendered. Wow, I had a altered state of consciousness darshan with Prabhupada in the 80s, right after he left. And I was kind of in a lot of distress and confusion of what to do, where to go. And I got darshan at Prabhupada. And I asked him, I was in an altered state of consciousness, and he was right there in front of me. And I asked him, what do you want? Do you want money? Because I was on a team that was selling things and collecting. And he said, yes, that's good. We can use money. The money is good. And then he said, but you should know, without Krishna, it's useless. And then he also indicated that, if devotees write books, they write them, but if it's not without ecstatic love for Krishna, then it's useless. And actually, only devotees who have this realization of a loving relationship with the Lord are actually qualified to write books. But anybody can write a book. There's tons of books everywhere. But to be accepted as actually devotionally in line, only devotees that are empowered by the Lord can actually do that, like Krishnadas Kaviraj, Vrindavan Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So writing books, but without Krishna, it's useless. And building things without Krishna, it's useless. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, and then in the darshan, he said, so whatever you do, if you do with love for Krishna, that's fine. In other words, it's not exactly what you're doing. It's not exactly what you're offering, necessarily. It's the mood of your love for Krishna that attracts Krishna. It gives him an appetite. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna becomes obliged to the loving spirit of the devotee and not exactly to the service rendered. No one can serve Krishna completely. He's so complete and self-sufficient that he has no need of any service from the devotee. He's not needy. He says, where's my eggplant? Where's my garanga potatoes? I need those. Where are they? Right now. He's not needy like that. He's not needy like that. Although if he's going to enter a pastime, you get on that, some things might go on. But ultimately, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna is perfect and complete. It is the devotee's attitude of love and affection for Krishna that makes him obliged. A very nice example of this obligatory behavior was manifested when Sudamvipra went to Krishna's palace. That's the poor Brahmin. He's the poor Brahmin. They were classmates. Sudamvipra had been a class friend of Krishna's when they were children at Sandipani Muni's Gurukul. And due to his poverty, he was induced by his wife to see Krishna to request some aid, because now Krishna was the king of Dwarka, and he was very opulent. And his old friend was a Brahmin, but very, very poor. Couldn't even support his wife and his family. When Sudamvipra reached Krishna's palace, Krishna received him very well, and both he and his wife, I believe it was Rukmini, was it Rukmini? I think so, washed the feet of Sudamvipra, showing respect to the Brahmins. Remembering his loving affairs with Sudam in their childhood, I think they went gathering wood in the forest for their guru, and they got lost at night. They wandered around all night in the forest together. Something happened. They had some pastimes. Krishna began to shed tears while receiving him. Hare Krishna, controlled by love. And it doesn't say what happened here, but when Sudamvipra returned, he didn't ask for anything. Sudamvipra didn't ask for anything, but Krishna read his mind. He knew why he'd come. And when he returned to his poor ramshackle hut with the leaky roof, and it had become a very, very opulent place. It was like the heavenly planets. And his wife came out. She was all dressed in gorgeous garments, and there were servants everywhere. And he's like, "Do I live here? Where am I? What's going? Is that you? Oh my goodness!" Hey, Krishna just gave him everything. He didn't even ask Krishna for anything. He was just happy to see Krishna. Krishna was happy to see him. Another instance of Krishna's obligation to his devotee is described in the 10th canto, where Sukadeva Goswami tells King Parikshit. Okay, so we're in the 10th canto, and Sukadeva Goswami, in their conversation with King Parikshit, says, "My dear king, when Mother Yasoda was perspiring, tired of trying to bind Krishna up with rope, Krishna agreed to allow her to bind him." So that's another pastime. Controlled by love. That's a very famous pastime, when Krishna allows Mother Yasoda to bind him. She tried to bind him. She tried to bind him, but until he could see manifestation of her love, she was perspiring and breathing heavily, that out of love, she felt she really had to do this to, as a mother, to correct her child. And Krishna let her bind him up. Krishna as a child was disturbing his mother by his naughty activities, and she wanted to bind him up. Mother Yasoda brought some rope from the house and tried to tie up the child, but she could not tie a knot due to the shortness of the rope. She tied together many ropes, but when she finished, still the rope was too short. After a while, she felt very tired and began to perspire. At that time, Krishna agreed to be bound up by his mother. In other words, no one can bind Krishna by any means other than love. He is bound only by obligation to his devotees because of their ecstatic love for him. That's a really interesting pastime. That is like a really interesting... It's very simple when it's spoken like this, very simple to understand, but there's a lot of depth of instruction in there. For one thing, the rope that Mother Yasoda was using was the rope, pieces of rope, because they were cowherds, that were used to bind the cows or the calves, the little calves or whatever, because they would, in the process of taking care of the cows and calves, sometimes they had to tie the little calf up and put him over here, and so they had rope. And those were the pieces of rope that she was using, were those, and that is, part of the varnashram. It indicates varnashram caring for the cows. Hare Krishna. And so she was using those ropes to try to bind Krishna. But those ropes in and of themselves, connected to this Vaishya activity, were not enough. They always came up short. What bound Krishna, and the ropes did bind him, was when the ecstatic love was manifest. Then Krishna allowed to be tied up by his mother. Interesting. There's more in that pastime that kind of shows this dynamic of, and the perspective of varnashram activities and ecstatic worship activities. The dynamic, how they fit together and how they complement each other. But the ecstatic worship also is not dependent. We see that in Chaitanya Lila. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and especially, that's a long story. Okay, qualities of Krishna. 41. All auspicious. A person who is always engaged in auspicious welfare activities for everyone is known as all auspicious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Bo! You still here, Gahari? I haven't put you in a coma yet? Hare Krishna. Very good. Okay, qualities of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, all auspicious. A person who is always engaged in auspicious welfare activities for everyone is known as all auspicious. And here's the example of all auspicious character of Krishna. After the disappearance of Lord Krishna from this planet, Uddhava began to remember the activities of the Lord and said, Krishna satisfied all great sages by his wonderful pastimes. He demolished all of the demoniac activities of the cruel royal order, protected all pious men, and killed all cruel fighters on the battlefield. Therefore, he is all auspicious for all men. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. This is the Vishnu aspect of Krishna. Even in Vrindavan, when these different pastimes of the demons come, like Bakashura, Agashura, Aristashura, they all come. It's not actually Leela Krishna. It's actually the Vishnu, because when Krishna is present, everything is there. And for interacting and destroying these demons, it's the Vishnu form. If you notice, Krishna doesn't really have any weapons. He's got a flute and a bugle. Okay? He doesn't, but Vishnu has the lotus flower and the conch shell, which are very pleasing for devotees, and he has the club and the disc. So the Vishnu forms of Krishna, he manifests, he expands, he's Vishnu, and through his Vishnu expansion he deals with. So Uddhava here is talking about Lord Krishna in his activities in his Vishnu manifestation. He demolished all the demoniac activities of the cruel royal order, protected all pious men, and killed all cruel fighters on the battlefield. Therefore he's all auspicious for all men. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna's never stops doing what he does as Krishna. Krishna doesn't like fight the demons. He expands and, okay, Vishnu form of Krishna fights the demons. He never stops. He never leaves Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Krishna is the origin of everything. The two-armed form of Krishna playing the flute. Radha Krishna. This is the origin of everything. He never stops being the origin of everything. But he does manifest in different ways and expands and incarnates. But it doesn't mean he stops being Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I think one example, try to understand it, is if there's a candle and it's lit, other candles can be lit from it, but it's not that the candle, the original candle, it's still there, the original candle. Is one way to try and visualize it. Candles don't last forever, so it's not a perfect example. It's just a way to visualize how that might happen. Most powerful. A person who can always put his enemy into calamities is called powerful. When Krishna was present on this planet, just as the powerful sun drives away all darkness to take shelter in caves, he drove away all of his enemies who fled like owls to take shelter beyond his sight. Hare Krishna. What is it? Godhead is light, and nescience is darkness. Where there's light, there can be no darkness. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And darkness has to go somewhere else in the presence of light. It can't stay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. 43. All famous. A person who becomes well known due to his spotless character is called famous. Due to his spotless character. Spotless character. The opposite of that is a person who's like really bad news becomes infamous, but due to spotless character becomes famous. It is stated that the diffusion of Krishna's fame is like the moonshine, which turns darkness into light. In other words, if Krishna consciousness is preached all over the world, the darkness of ignorance and the anxiety of material existence will turn into the whiteness of purity, peacefulness, and prosperity. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. If Krishna consciousness is preached all over the world, the darkness of ignorance and the anxiety of material existence will turn into the whiteness of purity, peacefulness, and prosperity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When the great sage Narada was chanting the glories of the Lord, the bluish line on the neck of Lord Shiva disappeared. Upon seeing this, Gauri, the wife of Lord Shiva, suspected Lord Shiva of being someone else disguised as her husband, and out of fear she immediately left his company. Upon hearing the chanting of Krishna's name, Lord Balaram saw that his dress had become white, although he was generally accustomed to a bluish dress. And the cowherd girls saw all the water of the Yamuna river turn into milk. So they began to churn it into butter. In other words, by the spreading of Krishna consciousness, or the glories of Krishna, everything became white and pure. Yeah, so all famous. A person who becomes well known due to his spotless character is called famous. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Well, probably going to stop there. Hey, Johan, all right, let's see what you got to say here. One day, I offer some yogurt to Krishna with salt in it. When after offering and eat this yogurt, I say, my Krishna, what did I do to you? This yogurt with salt. I didn't know it was salt. It was thinking it was sugar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh, so the banana leaf, right? The banana peels instead of the banana leaf. You thought you were offering to Krishna, and your heart was all good. And then it was like, what did I do? I gave him the banana peels and threw the bananas away. Or I put salt in it instead of... Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hey, Janaki, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I was reading the qualities of Krishna and sharing some stuff. Getting ready to go off now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Talked about the making friends with Krishna is actually one of the devotional regulative principles. Hearing, we know the value of that. Chanting, we know the value of that. Remembering, it's coming. Offering prayers, okay. Serving the order, that's coming. Worshipping the Lord, okay. And then making friends with the Lord. That's right up there with hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving, carrying out the orders, making friends with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Make friends with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Who wouldn't want a friend like Krishna? Everybody wants friends. Well, not so much me anymore. I just want Krishna as my friend, and I kind of give up on, having so many friends. You say, they're all, I don't know, they just, they always let you down, You can't help it, So that's why I'm working on being a well-wisher of everyone. But you need a friend. How can you go through life without a friend? So who wouldn't want the best friend to have is Krishna? Just make friends with Krishna. 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's what we're working on. Okay, well, all right. See you then. Hare Krishna.